Hey guys, just thought I'd do a short video today. Something I was recently hit with, kind of by accident. Penalty charge notices. Now, my wife's a nurse, and in picking her up from work, occasionally I'd be delayed, and there was a place where I could have a waiting period. And I'd pick her up from her shift, working in the operating theatres, and occasionally she'd be late, so I'd be delayed whilst waiting for her. And I got hit with two parking charge notices, £30 each if I paid them quickly. So I tried to appeal them and they got turned down flat. I tried a little sneaky way, having a word with the press office of the company in question, and I managed to convince them that it would be in their interest to drop the parking charges, and in the end I just paid what it would have cost me to park, which I felt was fair enough. Now, those charges came to £3 each. The charges were £30 each, 10 times the cost to charge. If I didn't pay them promptly, it went up to £60 each, 20 times the cost to charge. Is there anything more galling than finding or getting a PCN in the post tucked under your windscreen wiper? These little oversights in some cases. In my case, it was down to brand new ANPR cameras. So what previously hadn't been an issue for years then became an issue. But it feels like a trap, doesn't it? And these, where do they get these fines from? And they make you feel like a criminal, don't they? Well, let's talk numbers, cold hard numbers. In 2023 and 2024, just for councils in England collectively reaped over £1 billion, 1.019 billion surplus from parking operations. After tallying up to £2 billion in income and spending £989 million on running costs, so they made £1 billion in profit. Legalised theft in broad daylight. And it's not slowing down. 2024 to 2025 forecast to yield an even heftier £1.12 billion surplus. On a daily basis, UK councils issued an average of 19,631 parking fines in 2022 alone, draining drivers of nearly £777,287 every single day. A daily extortion effort that adds up to a mind-numbing £284 million per year. Regionally, Manchester City Council alone took home over £14.6 million in 2024 from issuing a staggering 460,000 PCNs. London boroughs like Waltham, Forest, Ealing, Barking and Dagenham and Enfield each made between 4 and 6 million from PCNs. In Scotland, councils generated £108.9 million in total parking revenue in a year, of which £47 million was pure profit. Edinburgh contributed £28.6 million of that. Stop pretending this is about road safety. They say it's about traffic flow, safety compliance. But if that were the case, why the daily blitz of almost 20,000 fines? And why signs that fade, markings that confuse, grace periods that evaporate at a glance? This is a business. A boomer coal boasting merchants deployed to capitalise on motorists. Councils have turned PCNs into dependable revenue streams, padding budgets under the guise of public service. And when you don't pay, brace yourself. The councils are now unleashing bailiffs and enforcement agents. In 2023-24, 4 million PCNs were referred to enforcement agencies, a number that's soared since the pandemic. These aren't just acts of justice, they're car seizure threats, intended to make you cough up fast. The disproportionate joke of fine hikes. There were whispers of parking fines rising by 75%, potentially taking penalties from £70 to £120, higher than shoplifting fines and utterly grotesque for a traffic blunder. Enough. It's time to call it what it is. 1. Revenue. not reason, councils profit more from parking than they reinvest. 2. Psychological warfare. Late payment equals higher bill. 3. Appeals are a token, not a solution. 4. Enforcement edge. Bailiff threats and seizing cars. This isn't deterrence, it's bullying. Worse than the TV licence people. When you see a PCN, don't grit your teeth and pay. See it as a wake-up call, a symptom of a system rigged against everyday drivers, disguised as governance. Want a further drop of vitriol? I can fuel this post with more real-world anecdotes, local authority earnings breakdowns, or even a tap-in appeal template for readers to actually fight back. Let me know, because this fight must begin with awareness. I'm not going to name this company, but Trustpilot has got scathing reviews of this particular parking company. I got charged a full payment of £7 this morning. Difficult to contact X company to get refund. Stuck at barrier for 45 minutes as it didn't read my number plate. My charger cable is currently stuck in a port in Fairfield Road car park. Still waiting for someone to come back to us. No readily available customer service. Attempted to charge me twice now for dropping someone off within their grace period. Used one of your car parks. I've been trying to contact customer services with no response or reply. Guys, appeal. Look for loopholes. These people don't always comply. There's lots of ways of researching it. Always fight, guys. You don't have to pay these extortionate fees. Check your facts. Check your facts. Check what they're obliged to charge you and what they're not. Maybe you can offer to pay a fair amount, but don't just roll over. That's it. Have a great day and be vigilant for the parking scammers.